All right, sit down, lie down, squat down, but I'm back. Belle Tellz. I'm going to show you all how I do the crock pot version of Marry Me Chicken. Okay, so you're going to need 16 ounces of pasta, 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 pounds of diced chicken. You will need, I would probably do a teaspoon of salt, pepper, oregano, onion powder, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. 2 jars of sun-dried tomatoes, and it's going to be 8 ounces. 1 to 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, 5 ounces of Parmesan cheese, 3 to 4 cups of chicken broth. I just kind of measure it as I go, and then a bag of spinach. All right, so we are going to prepare the chicken and get it in the crock pot. All right, so I've cleaned the chicken. I've got it in the crock pot, and I use these liners. It makes it a lot easier to clean after you've cooked your food. All right, so I'm gonna start adding the seasoning. All right, so we're gonna do the paprika. Let me back up a little bit. Garlic powder. Onion powder. Just a wee bit of salt, because you're not going to need that much salt. A little bit of pepper. And then the oregano. All right, so now I'm going to add both of the jars of the sun-dried tomatoes. And I just pour everything in there. All right, so now that we've got all the tomatoes in there, I'm going to pour in the 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, and you are just going to pour it straight over the top. Next, I think I'm going to start off with 2 cups of chicken broth. All right, so now I'm just going to pour the 2 cups of chicken broth over all this. And the next thing we're going to do is give that just a little bit of a stir. And a helpful tip on this dish is I buy the pre-diced chicken. That saves you a lot of time. And you don't have to shred it. Okay. So we're going to stop there. I almost forgot. Before we stop there, I need to add 4 tablespoons of butter on top of this. All right. Now that we've got the butter in the crock pot, I'm going to take this over to the warmer and we're going to turn it on low. Actually, we don't turn it on low. We turn it on high, and I'm going to leave it there for 3 hours, and then we're going to come back. All right, so we have reached the 3-hour mark, and this is kind of what it's looking like. So now we are going to add the pasta and the spinach. All right, so you have to add it in sections, and so I'm going to stir this in, and then I'll add the rest of the spinach. We got that first batch stirred in. Now I'm going to do the second batch. All right, second batch is done, so now I'm going to stir it. All right, so the second batch of spinach is stirred in. Now I'm going to add the pasta. We're going to give it a stir. All right, pasta's in. I'm going to stir it. All right, pasta's all stirred in. Now I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese. All right, I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese. Let's give that a stir. All right, so that is done. So now you're going to leave it on high and let it cook for another hour. Cover it, just keep it on high and just cook it for 1 more hour, and then it'll be ready. All right, y'all, and that's what it looks like. That is the finished product of the Marry Me Chicken. All right, please and thank yous are a must. A smile never hurt no one. Be cognizant of the things you say and how you say them, because kindness is priceless. Bye, y'all.